Good morning, everybody. Semi-retired Bob here. If you're new to the channel, I talk mostly about the carnivore diet and things related to the carnivore diet. Today, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Well, actually, I do. I'm having trouble putting a title to it and figuring out what all I want to say. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go over some of the comments that I've gotten on the channel. But first, let me welcome all the new people. There's a lot of them. Seems like I've got new people coming in every day. You notice the video's the lighting's a little different today because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm just now getting my walk started. It's a beautiful day here. I'm not exactly sure why I had trouble falling asleep last night, but I finally fell asleep sometime between like 3 and 4 in the morning. So of course I got up late. So everything else is going on a little late today. But one comment I got that I have no idea if they were serious or if they were just trying to troll the channel or troll me or whatever. He said, "You look kind of red. You and Dr. Barry and a few other carnivores, what is it? Is this all meat diet turning everybody red?" And I went back and looked at the video and decided he was probably just trying to troll the channel, because looking at me against at the end of the video next to my white trailer there, I didn't notice it at all. I do know that one of the reasons why people like Dr. Barry and myself and Dr. Chafee might have a reddish or darker tint to our skin because we work outside. You know, before I got sick, I was outside a great majority of the time, or in the seat of the truck with the sun shining through the window of the truck. Dr. Barry works on a farm. Dr. Chafee was, what was he, a rugby player? That seems like you're spending a lot of time outside. So I suspect that if there is a slightly sunburned looking effect or dark tan or whatever for carnivores, I think it's probably because we feel so good that we want to get outside and do stuff more. Because that's really what this is all about. I mean, if getting healthy doesn't lead you into doing more things than you did before you got healthy, other than living a little longer, what in the world are you getting healthy for? If you're not going to try and do more stuff, whether it be get out and walk around the block, or go play with your grandkids, or go play with your kids, or walk the dog, whatever it is that you want to do, why are you putting yourself through this stuff? Because, don't get me wrong, I love meat. I got my version of Cassie's pot roast going on right now. Carnivore Quest. That's where she is. I couldn't think of that name for a minute there, but she put a really good recipe video up on how to do pot roast, and that's pretty much the way I've been doing them ever since, because she obviously knows way more about cooking than I do, because I started doing it her way and it came out a lot better. So I suggest you go watch that if you haven't already. But speaking of walking the dog, I did have a commenter say, well, you know, Bob, if you got yourself a dog, you could take it for a walk every day, and it'd give you another reason to get out there and do your walks every day. Well, it's not that I, spent a great deal of my life living in a truck, driving around the country, because I know a lot of truck drivers that keep dogs. But I don't do well being responsible for somebody else. And okay, let's talk about it this way. You're looking at one of the few people in the world that has ever successfully killed a fake plant. And you're probably saying to yourself, fake plant? Wow, how in the world do you kill a fake plant? Well, I moved out here to Nebraska in 1990 from southern Ohio. And Mom, being the great mother that she is, bought me a really nice silk plant and said, here, I know you like plants, but you're terrible at taking care of them. So I bought you this nice silk plant. You can put it in your new apartment when you get out to Nebraska. And then you'll have a plant. And it was great. I got out here in, it was mid-February of 90. It was unseasonably warm that year. I got here and it was actually 70 degrees the day I was moving all my stuff into the apartment. Now, it snowed about a foot the next day, but we never really had super cold weather that first tail end of winter when I moved out here. So I got the apartment all set up. Fake plant looked really good right over there. I liked where it was sitting. I'm sure it was either October or November that first year. It started to get really cold, really fast. So of course, what's the first thing you do? You turn the heat on so it doesn't get cold. I woke up one morning and this silk plant, all of its leaves were curled up and just not in very good shape. Well, come to find out, I'd set that plant near where the heat pumped into that room of the apartment. And the heat was blowing straight onto it. And because it was a big hot water type system for the entire building, you just had to turn the valve on or turn the valve off if you wanted heat. Apparently, it was really hot coming out of that vent. And the heat of the vent literally withered up all the leaves on that plant. So yes, I have successfully killed a fake plant. So getting myself a dog, well, I would love a dog. I love dogs, but I don't trust myself to take care of a dog, an actual living thing, knowing that once upon a time in my life I killed a fake plant. So I'll just have to come visit all you people that have dogs out there. Not because I really want to visit with you. I do, but I want to pet your dog. I mean, probably my favorite dog in the country right now. As y'all know, I watch a lot of travel and camping type shows on YouTube. One adventure at a time. Dave and Carrie. I consider them very good friends of mine. They stopped down and helped when I first got down to Mom's house. There was a lot of little work that had to be done that I couldn't physically do. They came down and spent about a week working on the house. They have a dog whose name is Rudel, and if you go watch their channel for even a second, you will fall in love with their big Rudel Doodle, the Labradoodle. He is such a sweetheart of a dog. But yeah, I'm supposed to already be on the road right now, traveling towards Ohio. I planned on getting up and finishing the load out and getting on the road, but obviously that didn't happen because I got up late. Part of it may have been because I spent way too much time watching college football yesterday. And of course the highlight of the day were my Buckeyes embarrassing Wisconsin on national TV. That's always fun. The only thing better than embarrassing Wisconsin is embarrassing Michigan. I had a lady just this morning. I didn't get a chance to read the whole comment because I started reading comments just as my internet in the house was doing its normal Sunday morning reboot thing. So everything shut down and turned back on. And I wanted to get out here and get this walk in before it got too late. So I haven't had a chance to do any actual research. So I'm just going to go off old truck driver common sense here. Because she was asking me about if the... good morning.
Good morning, how's it going?
Not too bad.
Good to hear it.
So she was asking me about carnivore diet and effects on the small blood vessels in the brain. And I can only assume that it helps them out. Because I think, you know, it seems like common sense to me that a blood vessel is a blood vessel. And while there is no research, there are many documented cases, the old N+1 experiments of individual stories, where they have gotten a CAC score, which is a coronary artery calcium score. Basically, they take pictures of your chest and they can actually see plaque buildup in your coronary arteries. And that score is supposed to get worse a certain percentage every time, you know, every year it's supposed to get a little bit worse. And there are many stories, individual examples, of where not only did their CAC score not get worse, it actually got a little better. So I can only assume that if it's affecting your coronary arteries and making them actually get healthier, it should actually help. Oh, hush up. It should actually, you know, help your brain blood cells as well. Like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV. I'm not even a scientist. I'm just an old retired truck driver. But it seems to me that common sense would say that if it's going to help your coronary arteries, it should help all your arteries, even the little ones that go up into the brain. Wow. I'm almost to that stop sign that was the target a few videos ago. I can tell my right arm and hand and everything is getting a little stronger, because that's the first time I've had to switch the camera over to my left hand. And we're still a good little ways from the turnaround spot. But we are coming up on that stop sign, which means I've done, I think to the stop sign, before you add in going back, is like 0.8 miles. So I haven't quite gone a mile yet, but I used to have to switch the camera over my left hand 2 or 3 times during that amount of distance. So I think my hands are getting stronger. Back to the small blood vessels for just a moment. You know, I had, from my diabetes, I had the beginnings of diabetic neuropathy in my feet, and I could feel, I don't really want to call it pain, just kind of the foot tingles, and it sort of feels like your toes are a little bit swollen, even though when you look at them, they're not really. And while I still have that a little bit, it's not nearly as bad as it was when I started this diet. So, if my small blood vessels can repair themselves, I suspect yours can too. I said can, not will. Everybody's different. And that brings me to this wasn't really a comment on one of my videos, but it's one of the videos that I saw last night, or it might have been a couple of days ago now. It all starts to run together after a while. But it was one of the carnivore coaches talking about, you know, everybody always asks me, well, what should I eat? I can't answer that for you because everybody's different. You know, the baseline is just eat fatty red meat with some salt and drink water. That's the 90% we've talked about. But not everybody is going to see great results on that baseline. You know, I seem to have the Kelly Hogan baseline, because she ate nothing but McDonald's burger patties basically for the first, I don't know what it was, 8, 9, 10 years. And she looks fantastic. Okay, now let's see how we do here. I will show you that I've come down to the next intersection, which is just starting to drop off that next hill. So I have a little bit of a hill to climb here, but not much. The next drop off is going to be the big hill, but there is a little uphill here before I start the long downhill slope to the house. And I did check the pedometer yesterday on my phone, and it said the walk I did yesterday was 1.21 miles. That seems pretty darn good, considering, and I'm going to try and use Ready Set Keto's exact words. He was talking about me on his live stream the other day, and he said, I watched his first video, and it was literally just a three and a half minute video of him walking down to the corner about 3 houses away, turning around and going home. And he's right. That first video of me walking wasn't very long, and I can tell you, it seems like forever ago, even though it was just 25 days, because today is September 25th, which makes this the 25th day of the September 1% Better Challenge. And a little sneak peek into next month and beyond, we're not going to stop. This wasn't just about September. You should be striving to be 1% better today than you were yesterday, every single day of your life. I don't know who first said it. I have no idea. I've heard it from a lot of different people on a lot of different channels, and now you're going to hear it from semi-retired Bob. You're either growing or you're shrinking. You're either going forward or you're going backwards. There is no standing still. In anything we're learning, in health, nutrition, you know, whether, you know, Dr. Barry is studying paleoanthropological stuff, that's even hard to say, let alone think about what the heck that means. But you're either studying and learning more, or you're not moving forward in that area. So we should strive to do 1% better every single day. That doesn't mean that if we don't make that 1% goal, that we're a failure for the day. No. It was a goal. Goals are supposed to be hard. If it's not hard, it's not really a goal, now is it? But, you know, if you stop and think about it, don't get down on yourself. Well, I only managed to get 1/4% better at this thing that I'm doing today. Regardless of what that is. You could be talking about exercise or health, fitness, what you're eating, what you're studying, whatever it is. Don't think of it as, oh, I failed in my goal. I only got 0.25% better today when I was aiming for a full percent. That's the wrong way to think about it. Think about it as, I gained 1/4%. And if you gain 1/4% over 4 days, that's a whole percent. It's actually a little more if you stop and think about the compounding, whatever the heck it is. There's some math equation that'll make my brain hurt if I think too much about it. So I try not to, so I keep the math simple. 1/4% better 4 days in a row is 1%. Even though it's not exactly, it's actually a little more than that. But if you're still here why don't you go ahead and subscribe so you can get more carnivore content. You'll get notified when I put out new videos, and it really does help the channel. If you like anything I've said today, go ahead and hit that like button, because that also helps the channel. Go ahead and share this out with your friends on your social media, because while yes, I am trying to grow a YouTube channel, the real reason behind this, I want to grow to reach more people in hopes that we can get more people healthy. And tomorrow we're going to talk about why we need more people healthy and the sad, sad state that the American public is in right now. If you haven't seen my entire carnivore journey yet for walking in September, that should pop up right over here. Or there will be another video if you've already watched all those. YouTube's pretty smart. It should put in a video up over here that you haven't seen before. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow.